Microphone check, please. Screen share check. All right, good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for September 15th, 2022. Let's get started with the market 150. Sell-off day today has come down to test key price level at 390. It's testing that collapsing dragon after teasing us with that powerful move up. You got to remember, bear normal. This is what happens. It has given us a symmetrical move all the way back down to key price level at 390. Could this support another move up? Yeah, it just did that. Could this critical state also break down? Yep, it sure could. It did that right here. And this is the key support level in here, this 30-day low, and then the double belly of the RL10. That's the last act of defiance right there. So this actually does set up a nice upward move. Like, we're not afraid to get that kind of a move, but at the same time, bear normal dominates our attention. So critical state tomorrow is going to be amazing on a Friday. So today, when we zoom in on the 30-day, so this was yesterday's little doji action, and the slight gap down, it tested higher and then closed weakly right again at that key price level. So the breakdown here is painful. There's your collapsing dragon and the 30-day low. So if that breaks, look out below. The upside target would be here. I'd say probably 400 first as a round number. That's a 3% move if it can get to there. And then it has to get through this in order to break out. But that's looking less likely, to be honest, on a Friday. I would be ready for a big downward move tomorrow, going into the weekend to shake this whole thing out. On the 30-minute chart, again, you can see you get two nice moves here, actually maybe even three. And then the gap crushed, and then today was just a grinding downward move with a weak close. There it is. We're just going to look at the extremes tonight because that's what matters. The best performers today were some of those disruptors, like Robinhood, 4%, Arc Innovation and Genomics, 1.7 and 2.2, Biotech, Squarespace, Tesla, Finance, and VIX. So not much to choose from. But then with the S&P here off 1.14, and treasuries about flat, diamonds minus a half, the Russell off 0.7, emerging markets off 1.06, spiders off 1.14, and let's see, emerging market, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, and then tech off 1.67. So the key leaders got assassinated today. And defense. This benefited from some trading activity. But when tech and the market itself are down big, that's bad news for the team. Now, at the other end of the extreme, we're going to look for who were the underperformers today. There's your energies off 4%. That's oil and uranium, lithium batteries, Devon Energy. Now look at our metals. Alcoa. Where's my U.S. Steel? U.S. Steel. And Cliff. So there's our metals. So Alcoa looks like the weakest and big downward moves tomorrow. There's your tech, S&P tech, NASDAQ tech. Boy, just getting smashed. There's Microsoft and Apple. Boy, there is no conviction in this market whatsoever. This is a one day at a time, no overnight risk, follow the price, make bank while you can. This is a bird in the hand versus two in the bush. There is no reason to have conviction or a directional bias in this market. Only large moves in either direction and follow the price. Can't say it any simpler than that. Here was our sniper trade of the day. No surprise, U.S. Steel. Here was the close. Here was the opening with the OR3. It broke down. It sold off. I shorted it. Basically got a scratch. It held the PSAR. So when it moves a PSAR off the, or it moves a risk box off the PSAR, I buy it long. It runs up, crosses the baby dragon. I stuck around too long, I think, and then took the PSAR exit for plus 1R. I took the PSAR flip. There's your standard risk box. Here's the standard exit. Let me know when you guys get bored of me marking these up. But there's 1, 2. So now we're at plus 3. Here's the stop and reverse with the SSC. This printed so fast that I stayed with it. I took that exit for a scratch. Took the COTA 2 reentry for a half. Took the PSAR flip. No, I didn't. Should have. Took the COTA 2, though, and a collapsing dragon, and there's your risk box for another half. So that's about 0.5 scratch. So plus 3 and plus 1. That's about a 4-hour day in U.S. Steel, and no overnight risk. They got smashed today on bad earnings along with Nucor and a slowdown in the economy. So they will continue to be on the radar screen for trading. All right, we'll shift to the reports. We'll start with dashboard 1. No surprises here. Harsh sell-off and oversold on the 10 or on the 2, 10, and 30. Still bearish normal. Risk Z is still risk off. No surprises. This is getting ready to collapse. We haven't even seen wicked volatility yet. If we do, we get that kind of a move, that'll drop this to 380 in a heartbeat. Minimum pains. Tesla's actually holding up pretty well, as is healthcare in the form of Johnson & Johnson and United Health. What's getting smashed? Metals, tech, and then Walgreens is just terrible. In the Dow 30 tactical, a few dojis today. A handful still on a auto framer, but what I'm looking for, where is the pain and suffering? There's Intel, 3.7 to 1, with more big losses today. A new 10-day, 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month low, and so is Walgreens on those long time frames. Then you have Alcoa and Apple. Oy, oy, oy. When Apple's collapsing, you know that's going to send shockwaves through the money managers. Cisco suffering, Home Depot and IBM, Coca-Cola with new breakdowns, and Microsoft with new breakdowns. That's all of the defensive standard plays right there, all getting smashed. This does not bode well for this market whatsoever. In the ETFs, same thing, handful of dojis, plenty of auto framers, And the breakdowns, even in the defensive play like gold, getting smoked. Real estate, a defensive play, getting smoked. Tech and staples. That's your tech leaders and your defensive staples both getting smoked with the new 10-day and 1-month lows. That's broad-based weakness for sure. Metals and mining, that was weakness in the steels, big losses. So this is pretty gloomy. Now, if 390 holds, you could see a one-day bounce off this. We've seen it before, but no conviction. The best in the form of risk-reward ratio sorted from the top. I don't even need to go much further than that. Treasuries, U.S. Steel, and Intel. And there's my Alcoa, Cliff, Diamonds, and Staples, Microsoft, and emerging markets. So all of the primaries are in that kind of sell-off posture. Only Treasuries and 3M on the squeeze. Shifting to the Sniper Target Central, it is Godzilla season, my friends. Adobe, 4 sigma on the 5-day volatility, 3 sigma on the 2. Adobe, DLR and WST, also big time volatility. I would look at ALLE as well. These are the exaggerated moves that are shaping out. But you don't even have to look further than our tactical symbol set. Cliff, Alcoa, Marijuana, Microsoft, and Intel. All of them with extraordinary 5-day volatilities and dramatically oversold. That's big sell-off in the last 5 days have been large down. And when you put you find even like Marijuana and Intel have a very small 1-day last day. That could be a nice big breakout. But man, Microsoft, Intel, Cliff, and Alcoa, man, they are playing my tune. Just a couple popcorns. These are the ones that are near the top of their stack on the weekly and daily, and then the 10-day is at an extreme, either extremely high or extremely low. In the fence sitters, only Bristol Myers has volatility. I think I'd be ready to look at that one as a breakout. It means it's starting to move. The quiets are very quiet with the exception of EW. That's the only one that has any evidence of volatility. But the most volatile ones, those are the ones to really be seen. There's your Adobe, number 1 in your hearts. There's DLR and CNC, WST. I'm looking for these. Humana, CCI, ALLE and O. So those are the ones that really stand out to me as separating themselves from the broader market. Sniper Auto Framer and the Sniper Stats for the tactical symbol set. Look at our top 3, all our metals in terms of 5-day volatility. That's why they've been trading so well. And then Marijuana, Real Estate, and Intel. Dominated by the winter. There's a few things in the spring that are trying to make a turnaround, but boy, they're not very persuasive. The NDX gives you a real clear visual of what's going on. Assassination of everything across the board. Only treasuries being the anomaly right now. Tesla is actually holding up pretty well. You know, that'll be the last man standing if you were going to bet. Devon Energy is moving really hard, but sold off sharply today. Even McDonald's, which had been a long-term strength in here, even that's getting murdered. And U.S. Steel and Cliff are both among just the worst that it could be in the metals. Look at all that red. Oh. Traders market. Those are my best days at work in this kind of pain and suffering. This one really clearly lays out that why that's so critical. Last time it resolved here. If it fails, same thing goes to here, and then 370 is in play. That's why this is so crucial. The slope of the 30, this is, when it's below the dotted line, it's below average. That means people know that this is painful and horrible and are more inclined to fear if we see sharp downward moves early. That's why I'll be ready for that. To me, this, what was once support was now resistance, is now support again. That's why this is so crucial. It made that move. It could make this move back to 370. Or it could just as easily make this move to 430. Which way would you bet? I don't know. I'd be ready to bet both ways because the move is equally likely. Critical state. That's why that matters. You don't even have to have a directional bias. Look how simple your life is. Let's take a look at the traders today. This was Ed from last night. He posted this after we had wound up for the day. Got an initial, he had that initial breakout through the PSAR, got long, harvested quickly, harvested a small loss right away, keeps firing. There's his risk box, there's his 2R. He put that on immediately, but that one didn't pay off, so he comes out of there with +1. And then a scratch. Alcoa, he was at 1.5 today and 2.5 in CLX, probably CLF, for our total for the day. This is Tim. There wasn't much movement for him today. Spent most of his time off the market. Got one short in the money. Crude was down mostly for today. We needed to get that one re-entered short. Meetings, sorry. But he did get paid. This one, I like that short because it's a collapsing dragon. That's a good quick loss and a recovery, but we need to be in here off desk. Man, the two moments where there was big moves. But he did get what little piece was there. They're just, the market wasn't moving much when he was gone, and so we get a couple misfires for 1.7. Luke brings home 1.7 in the Aussie. Here's the SSC. We'd like to have been there. There's a sideways quiet chop and then a breakout, which he gets. Now, this one feels like that could have been a 1, 2, 3 exit. It gives you much less angst than that extra piece, though, you know, sometimes I think it's just better to take that. This is a great stop and reverse. I feel like we gave back a lot on that one. But it's pretty good. It's pretty much on the PSAR. This PSAR happens after pretty fast. But wow, look how fast this worm changes. At this point, he was +2 in hand. and then ends up minus zero point 0.6. So we got to have I think we got to have an automatic trailing stop on that one, because you'd have had this, it would have gotten you out here instead of here. This is a good recovery and re-entry. We gave back a lot in there, and that PSAR should have been here instead of there. You got gosh, we're giving back a lot, Luke. I know you're coming off sick call here and all, but I'm glad we were able to bring home a win today, but there was a lot left on the table. This final one of the day was a nice way to end and to finish on a positive note. Wojcik, there was a lot of sideways chop in Devon Energy today. That looks, I think you meant you were short here and then covered there, and then long. We gave back a full R right there. Scratch, got paid. Slow to get in. That should have been an entry here on the stop and reverse on the PSAR flip. But you still got paid. Minus 0.6. That's about all there was in there today. Tesla, this got a little choppy in here, but we finally got paid. The PSAR flip was here, so this is a little late getting in. Good scratch, got paid, and got paid. That's unfortunate right there, so we could maybe re-enter a little faster. Just wasn't much for you today. Until you get over to the Aussie, and then he brings home 2.3 to make it at least a positive day. Thank goodness for that. That's some value of diversification. There's the meetings. Good scratch. This could be the stop and reverse. That one could be the stop and reverse. This is waiting a long time to get in. I mean, man. Good recovery. So you got a pretty good bite out of what was available. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and posted and be ready for these guys. Tomorrow's going to be a toboggan ride, man. This thing is going to be a wild ride tomorrow on a Friday after this disappointment of the last 2 days. So let's be ready for that tomorrow, okay? Take good care, and we shall see you tomorrow.